The sun is shining.
Yay.
It's time to call the Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order. Liv, roll call, please.
Mayor Martin,
Present.
Mr. Austin.
Here.
And Ms. Gross.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, good evening. Is there any announcements or public comment that's not related to the agenda? Not hearing anyone, we'll go on to the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda for the Board of Works minutes meeting on January 2nd. And the approval of claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, there isn't any old business. We'll go into new business. Request approval of sidewalk and parking closure of 40 East Jefferson Street for construction from February 19th to February 26th. And I'm just going to spell this out. Madoli Corporation, Jeremy Helms. Could you go up there, sir, and then tell us what that word is?
What'd you say, Matt?
That word's pronounced Matalai.
Madoli?
Yeah, it's just a combination of my two daughters' names put together, so.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
I asked that today at the City Hall, and it seemed like we were all in the same boat, so thanks for that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm doing some demo on the second floor of 40 East Jefferson Street. And we're gonna remove a window and the material's all out. Will be coming out that top window on the front by the street. So I'd like to set up the scaffolding, canopy scaffolding with the trash chute, going down to the dumpster.
Okay, and you and I had a conversation about the trash chute, making sure nothing gets out into the flow of traffic right there, since the lane is right there.
Yes, correct. I've got Gribbons Scaffolding is going to be the ones building it, and I requested an enclosed trash chute to where anything thrown down it will only exit into the dumpster.
Okay, and the only other thing that we require is put plywood down and under the dumpster so it doesn't scar up the parking spaces, and be careful with the curb right there. Do something to protect the curb.
Okay, yep.
Other than that, I'm personally okay with it. The other two board members here.
Is that Jennifer Oj's law office? Is that the building?
I couldn't tell you.
the
Dustin
second.
Matern is,
It's the old law. It's good that you don't know where law offices are. That's good. That's a good thing.
yes.
So does that be converted into apartments, or is it currently an apartment?
Yes, there's currently some living space on the back half of that. Yeah, right now, what I'm demoing is storage, and then there was an old attorney's office. I don't know.
Roy Dickinson's, I think.
Yes,
Isn't it Roy's?
yes, yeah,
Good thing those walls can't talk.
yeah.
God rest his soul.
So is it getting turned back into office space or an apartment?
So this preliminary demo is just to see what we can do after we demo, but he would like to turn it into living space.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Again, I don't have a problem with it.
No, I'll move to approve the sidewalk and parking closure at 40 East Jefferson Street for construction from February 19th to February 26th, with the caveat that plywood goes under the dumpster. We protect the curbing and nothing flies out into the street. Is that, okay?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Jeremy, just one thing I forgot to say, get with Brett Jones, street commissioner, and he can help get the signs. You can call the street department to get it closed off or nobody park there.
Just call a couple days in advance, and we'll make sure we put no parking signs out for you. How big, just let us know how big of a dumpster it is, whether it's one spot or two that you're gonna need, so.
It should just be one spot.
Okay,
Okay, thanks, sir. Okay, next item. Request for consideration and approval of a design supplement for the wastewater treatment plant expansion, Wessler Engineering, Brent Siebenthal. And Gary's going to do it, okay. Before we get started, where it says a consideration for approval, I think what we're going to do tonight, we're not going to have any approval. I want to, because we're going to take this to city council. And this is a big project that we're going to have to do, and the council's going to be involved down the road with bonding and trying to figure out how we're going to fund this. So I don't want to approve something that we're going to do until we go to the council and let the council know this is something that is needing to be done. So, thank you, Gary, and go ahead.
This is for the wastewater treatment plant expansion. Let me grab my notes real quick. Sorry. Give you a quick overview. The existing facility was built in 1996. It's about 30 years old. It has a design average flow of 5.13 million gallons a day. Recent annual flows in 2021 is at 92% capacity. In 2022, that dropped to 82%. I think that was partly due to the weather, partly due to some sewer rehab work that the city's been doing that helped decrease that flow. Last year in 2023, waiting for the final numbers, but it looks like it's going to be around the 82% capacity again. So the goal of this project would be to increase the design flow and treatment capacity to allow for future growth of the city and future development, replace and update aging equipment to improve mechanical and process reliability, and to provide more energy-efficient processes and equipment to help reduce energy usage and minimize operating costs. The major planned improvements are shown on these exhibits. I'm not going to walk through every one of them in detail, but it essentially boils down to of the various processes involved, adding another tank. You've got 2 tanks, we're going to add a third one. It involves equipment, replacing equipment with more capacity or higher capacity equipment. And it will provide a design flow of 7.5 million gallons a day. So that's about a 50% increase over what's existing. So if you can imagine the city of Franklin growing 50% in the next 20 years, if you exceed that, things are going well in Franklin. 50% is a pretty nice expansion. On the project cost, our opinion of construction cost is $27.7 million, so this is no small project.
Say that again, Gary.
$27.7 million construction cost. Add in non-construction costs estimated at $5.5 million. Total project cost $32.2 million. Anticipated schedule, overall it's 40 months, so it's almost 3.5 years from start to finish. Engineering's estimated at 11 months, permitting at 4 months, followed by bidding in the financial phase at 4 months, and a 21-month construction schedule. So this is not something that happens overnight. That would put completion in the fall of 2027. That's my quick overview. Are there any questions?
I'm sorry, you said it and I didn't hear it. How long ago since we've done any plant?
30 years.
A major project like this, not since the plant was built in 1996. That's the last time it was expanded.
And when they expanded it, did they represent what the capacity would hold at that point in time? Did they expanded it by 50% then, or?
All right, I think it went from 3.8 to the 5.13. So what is that? Not quite 50%, maybe 40%?
40%, and it lasted 30 years?
I believe so.
So the 82%, I believe we have done a lot of lining projects like Camelot and like US 31 project and fixing manholes, and we've done a lot. And matter of fact, I think it's on somewhere later. I want to give this to Kenny, and you get the question of, wow, all of a sudden it's like, have we not done anything? We have, and I just wanted to, I kind of put this together on some expenses that we've done since 2024. Looks like total improvements has been like 16.8 million since 2017. That's what we've done in projects. And we've got to the point where we think, there's still low-hanging fruit out there, I think, like some more lining projects. but we're getting to the point of planning down the road. We're here, is the way I see it, so. And I know, Gary, we've been talking about this for quite some time.
Yeah, we've been saying, well, I don't know if we need to proceed now. Let's kind of came to the time where it's ready to move forward.
What,
So what we had submitted was the design contract to start design of this project.
When you go from 2 tanks to 3 tanks, you're increasing it by a third, right?
Roughly, yes.
Lawyers know thirds, right? But you say you're increasing capacity by 50%. Is that because of efficiencies that you will recognize from the newer equipment and things of that nature, or?
It's more because of the tankage involved.
Okay.
Yeah, it's,
So, Gary, the red, everything in red, is that what you're designing?
that would be new, yes.
Okay, so I know there's like the building, there's a couple buildings there that you are designing, like the,
Yeah, there in the kind of the upper left, it's shown in green, is the new screenings building, which is just about complete.
okay, but I'm talking about the red ones over here, the, what's that, ATAD system expansion? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes.
Yes, is that building or what,
That would be tankage.
that's tankage?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
part of the sludge treatment
And then the
system.
one down on the bottom, what is that one?
That is the UV disinfection system that would need to be expanded.
Okay,
That is not, that's tankage. That would be a channel.
okay, and I don't think we have it on there, but at some point, as we're doing this, we're also gonna be planning for a billing office. And we're gonna have another engineering firm that is familiar with the building stuff, not the sewer stuff, look at that.
Yeah, architects probably.
Yeah, okay.
what besides design fees are lumped into the non-construction costs?
It is mostly engineering from beginning to end, so it involves design, it involves permitting assistance, bidding assistance, and then our role, 2 roles during construction. One we call construction administration, which you could describe that as the office work. We get shop drawings, we get RFIs from the contractor, it's kind of the office work. And then we would have an on-site project representative or inspector. That would be full-time, 40 hours a week, or as long as the contractor's there, through duration of the project. Some of the other non-construction costs would be your financial consultant, if you have to issue bonds, bonding company. There might be some city attorney fees involved. It's kind of miscellaneous other folks that are involved, maybe not to the extent of engineering, but they're all encompassed in that non-construction cost.
So is the agreement that was on the agenda tonight just for like schematic design and not necessarily bid documents?
It's for bid documents. It
It
includes
is.
all the way through bid documents. It includes permitting assistance and bidding assistance. That's
Okay.
what's included in what we submitted, yes.
Okay, thank you.
I
It
know
basically
that-
gets to the point where you're ready to start construction.
I know the permitting is much different for this kind of structure than it is for our other types of things. Who all do you have to get permits from?
For this, we see the 3 permits. The IDIM construction permit is where they review our design to make sure it meets standards and so forth. There's the IDIM, what used to be called the Rule 5 erosion control permit for construction sites. In this one, we're going to have to also get a DNR permit. What you see down there in the kind of the bottom right is the outfall structure that needs a new pipe basically run out to the creek, and it's in the floodway, so we'll have to get a DNR floodway permit. The permitting on this project, even though it's a large project, is not as extensive as we see a lot of times on this type of project, so,
So nothing involving the EPA or anything of that
No.
nature? It's all state level?
correct.
Okay, any other questions?
I assume for this size of project, the city would need to issue bonds?
Yes, and that's why the city council will be involved in that. Because
Okay.
that, we can't do that. We can tell the city council, we highly recommend we get this done, because, and then the city council helps with the bonding and what my plan is there is, is I know probably get a couple city council people to talk with our financial people, and there's several different ways we can do this, and try to come up with a consensus that we feel like is the best, most efficient way, and then bring that to the council. So,
Okay.
Was the original project bonded, do you happen to know? It's probably not fair, but do you happen to know?
I'm sure it was, yes.
No idea what the rate was at that point, did you?
I probably wish we had the rate today.
It was bonded, and I think it just cleared off, Sally, what, a year or two ago? Yeah.
What was it, you said in the 70s, or when? No, in the.
96.
Nice.
I think
Yeah.
it was completed in
Wasn't
96.
that great?
Probably not.
The rate probably wasn't that good, yeah.
So maybe the
See, the
timing of
historian's
this,
not here.
when we get to that,
Yeah, Rick would know.
Yeah, Rick would know.
Rick would know to a T.
Swinehammer would know.
maybe the timing of this, when we get to it, you keep hearing the rates are gonna fall
Yeah.
later in the year, so maybe that'll. So
Better
we're
they are in the
hoping.
90s.
But anyway, is there any other questions for Gary?
No.
And Gary, I'm sure they will be back when we decide, okay, we're gonna bring this on forward and try to get approval of the engineering. We could ask questions at that time again, so.
Okay.
Thank you,
All
Gary.
right, thank you.
Yep. Okay, the next item. Revised Police Department SOP 1.16.1 through SOP 1.16.5. City Attorney Lynn Gray and Police Chief Kirby Cochran.
Chief?
Yeah, I'll just give a quick overview, Lynn, if you could pick up. Some time ago, we looked at different processes within the building with regards to evidence collection, retention, and then disposition. We were left with an evidence property room that was full of evidentiary items, items that were picked up along the way that were being stored, and no disposition on a lot of those items, but also some confusion on what could happen with those items. So myself, Ms. Gray, I believe Chris Tennell, there were several of us involved in looking at this along the way, and Lynn has brought forth some changes that are noted in the copies that are attached tonight. These are just general revisions, but they'll also help clear up some of the issues that we have with the disposition of the evidence and being able to send some of this stuff to auction like we recently did.
Right. Thank you. Huge shout out to Lieutenant Tennell, and we also had the assistance of our new officer, Chief, I apologize for, I don't remember his name, who's now at the academy, worked on this, and quite frankly, reached out to the state police, reached out to several other departments, Greenwood, because that property room, if you had reason to be into it, it was just filled to the brim. And you get lots of different things. You get things, property that is abandoned. You get property which is evidence. You get property which people come and turn over to us. And so it's in different categories, and it requires a lot of discussion about different methods by which it can be disposed of. If it's evidence, obviously, we needed to inquire of the prosecutor's office and how to take care of that and chain of custody and things. So I talked to the prosecutor's office at length about running through the policies. So they have been consulted with regard to that. I've also looked at the AG's office takes over certain kinds of property that is unclaimed, and so you have to look at what their restrictions are and their rules and their requirements. And then we look at the statutes that deal with abandoned property, and I think you dealt with a couple of meetings ago about property that we'd maintained for such a period of time, and then we advertise it and it can be sold at public auction. So this is a combination of various policies that we looked at and various laws that are adapted. I would tell you probably the majority of it tracks very similarly to what the Indiana State Police do. And I found, and I think it was the consensus of the individuals involved in the profession, that their policies made the most sense and they're workable for the men and women in the field as well as the prosecutor's office. So this tracks very much what they were doing. We were looking at it and reviewing it time and time again, even up to this afternoon. And it's ready for your action tonight with two additional things that Lieutenant Tennell pointed out to me as of 3 o'clock this afternoon, and I told him I would bring him to, 2 o'clock this afternoon, because I think they're very good points. In SOP 1.16.3, that talks about the proceeds from the property sold at auction come back to the city of Franklin. But where do they come back to? The appropriate place for them to come back to is to be delivered to the Franklin Clerk Treasurer's Office, because that's who takes care of the money. So when we sell something at auction, after we've followed all these proceeds, that money then is deposited with the Clerk Treasurer's Office, and set up in a fund. So that was one thing that needs to be added at the end of the SOP, specifically the language, all proceeds from the property sold at auction shall be delivered to the Franklin Clerk Treasurer. And then the other thing in the SOP, when there are rare and certain kinds of property that can be sold at auction, we didn't say where that rare property could be sold, how that rare property would be sold, and it is also supposed to be sold until it can be sold at auction, needs to be added to the end of the SOP. But other than that, it is ready for your action. I can answer any questions you might have on any of these. It's been months in the making, so I know it's a lot for you to all digest, but it's something that we need so that we can properly manage our property room and our evidence, make sure it meets the law, and we don't have to be asking, how do we expand our property evidence room? Because if we don't do something, we're gonna need more room, and this was the better choice, especially since we're gonna build a sewer, so, yeah.
I'll move to approve the proposed revisions for standard operating procedures 1.16.1 through 1.16.5 as proposed,
Second.
Including the additions as what I
including
indicated.
the two additional items.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And if anything does come up, please don't hesitate to reach out to me about questions.
Okay.
Happy to answer them.
Okay, acceptance and execution of sanitary sewer easement, Newkirk Square Townhomes. Senior Planner Joanna Tennell.
Good evening. With the development of Newkirk Square Townhomes, there was a sanitary sewer main extension from the alley that ran south to serve these units, and we do need to have that included in easement. So this document is ready for consideration and action.
Joanna, just a question. Is that part of the alley that the easement's in that we vacated to?
No, it is not.
Okay, thank you.
And it is an easement, not a right-of-way.
It is an easement, yes.
Thank you.
I'll move to accept and approve execution of sanitary sewer easement for the Newkirk Square Townhomes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Joanna. Next item, request for approval of change orders 5 through 7 for the Graham Road and Commerce Parkway Roundabout Project. City Engineer Mark Richards.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. These three change orders will close out the project. I think we've already paid the final bill. I think it was submitted mid-December. And so this just basically gets the contract amount down to what the final contract price was. Change order 5 is, these are all balancing change orders, so they look at the quantities that were used versus what were in the contract and modifies those. They're all reductions in price. Change order 5 is a reduction of $39,311.04. Change order 6 is a reduction of $11,220. And change order 7 is a reduction of $2,500. I will note that change order 4 was not used. For some reason, they got the numbering messed up, so there is no change order 4 for the project, but these, as I said, these 3 change orders will close out the project.
Any concern that the engineer can't count?
How about that, Matt?
He was smiling at me before I said it.
I'll move to approve change orders 5 through 7 for the Graham Road project, Graham Road and Commerce Parkway roundabout project.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
So when I saw this one as a deduction, the one we just approved, I thought about you, Kenny.
I was shocked. I was shocked. It's rarity.
Yeah. Okay, next item, approval of Resolution 24-01, resolution approving the transfer of funds to Johnson County, Indiana for Johnson County Public Transportation Service. City Attorney Lynn Gray.
Thank you. As you all are aware, for years, we generally at the beginning of the year allocate certain fundings to various of our nonprofits around the community that provide services to our citizens. One of those is Access Johnson County. We've done for years a grant of $18,500. Effective last year, after the census of the 2020 census, Johnson County has grown to such a point that they are actually now governed by the federal transportation rules and requirements. And so as such, the county itself now has to address their funding, be the holding agent, if you will, for funds for them to get, and then they disperse it on to Access Johnson County. This resolution, it's the second one. We did one like this last year. It then authorizes us to pay to the county for the benefit of Access Johnson County, the same grant funds that we have done for numerous years in the past. It's just a different, we give them to a different disposing agent rather than directly to Access Johnson County. Same amount.
Lynn, every year, obviously, that, costs continue to go up, and then, as you had mentioned, we cover more territory, I assume, in a county.
The county does, the city doesn't. The routes are still the same within the city.
Within the city?
Right,
Okay, so in the 18.5 covers that completely, or is there also other monies?
Oh, there's also other monies. It's also a taxpayer funded. So in theory, our citizens also fund it, yes.
All right,
yeah.
thank you.
And there are, and I don't profess to know all of the differences, but once you got past a size of the county, which we were, it then triggers federal transportation funds. So not only do we get our state taxes, we also get federal taxes.
Thank you.
I'll move to approve Resolution 24-1, approving the transfer of funds to Johnson County, Indiana for Johnson County Public Transportation Service.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next item, request approval of escrow agreement with Mutual Savings Bank and Envoy Construction, City Attorney Lynn Gray.
I can't count either, so. Thank you, Mayor. This is an oldie, but a goodie, and quite frankly, you deserve an apology because it's just now getting to you, and I have no reasonable explanation as to why, other than, if you'll recall, we entered into a contract with Envoy for the purposes of reconstructing our fire station. And we entered into that months and months and months ago. Part of that agreement, when we entered into that public-private agreement with them, required that the funding for the construction be placed into an escrow account. That's part of the contract that we have for Envoy. An escrow agent was determined to be mutual by agreement of Envoy, our contractor, and the bank. And I asked the bank's attorney as well as Envoy's attorney to prepare an escrow agreement that was acceptable to them, because at that time we were paying a portion of the funding up front, and basically it gets put into escrow and you can draw off of it. That way the private developer knows that the money is there. And then the second amount was to be placed into escrow before the end of the year. I asked them to prepare that escrow agreement. Liv was great, kept asking me for it, I kept asking them for it, and it's just now getting to you, even though half the work has already been done. And I would also tell you that because the clerk treasurer wanted to make sure that the money that had already been appropriated was secured, our money is sitting in 2 accounts over there, but I won't let anybody have it until I got the escrow agreement, and lo and behold, I got the escrow agreement. So it is now here, available for your approval and review. Both of the deposits which are mentioned in the paragraphs of the agreement themselves have already been deposited, and those are the deposit of $1,992,066.86, which was deposited on September 22nd, 2023, and the second amount of $407,933.14, which was deposited on 12/21/2023. They are both located there at Mutual Savings, awaiting submission then of the bills for the work that has been done, which will be approved by our engineer, and then payments will be coming out of that. So that's a long-winded explanation for why it took so long.
And those funds come out of the ARP account, American Rescue Plan, and the CCD fund is where those come from. So, okay.
I'll move to approve the escrow agreement with Mutual Savings Bank and Envoy Construction.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience. Greatly appreciate it.
Okay, next item. I'll just let you know, it was me asking Liv and Jane, when are you gonna get this done?
Yeah.
So they didn't return asking, right?
For the life of me, I couldn't figure out why it took them so long. I just kept saying, I have money. Why don't you get me something? Never had such a hard time getting away $2 million in my whole life. but It worked.
Okay, thank you. Next item, request approval of clerk treasurer support specialist job description.
Now, so if you click that link, you can see, I came up with a new job description that encompasses all the positions within the office, and I just titled it Clerk Treasurer Support Specialist. I had the chance to sit down with most of the department heads, and talking with each staff member and finding out what everybody does. It did not fit with those, job descriptions of the past, so they were obviously in need of some updating. So after talking with everybody, I came up with this, and it has all of the duties, as I said, that encompasses everything within the office, which will allow me to assign duties accordingly as needed, and then staff will not be confined to a single job description and can be moved if needed.
Madam Clerk Treasurer,
One line item.
thank you so much for doing all this heavy lifting. It was great. They were in need, and it was nice to have a fresh set of eyes on it. Did we add the regular and dependable attendance to the?
We did.
Okay,
Yeah, it was in the top already.
all right. Thank you. Thank you.
So just so I understand, so this is a job description for your entire department,
So all, yes,
and then you'll parcel out the duties to different,
that is correct.
so will there be subsequent documents that they'll have where they know what their assignments are?
They know, I mean, I have sat down with each of them already,
Okay,
but
But in the event that maybe one was gone for a while, the other one could still follow through with these duties? Is that was the idea, right?
And trying to
two for every, yes.
Try to have some redundancy within the office in the event we have people gone.
cross-training and stuff like that. Yeah.
okay. Any other questions?
I think I'm good with it.
Okay. I will move to approve the job description of the clerk treasurer support specialist as presented by Jan Jones.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Jan has been to a lot of training, and I was gone on vacation, so Jan and I really I've only been in her office for about 15 minutes one time, so I'm just giving you a warning. You are going to get sick of me.
And if he asks for money, if he asks for money to put a hole in the wall into my office,
Yeah, I can see your office out my window.
that's right. Go to the council, it won't be approved.
Okay, thank you, everybody. There isn't any other business. We'll go into department reports, and we'll start down with Chip.
I apologize, I was late. I thought yesterday was Monday and today was Tuesday, so. Thank you, Krista, for texting me and basically saying, where are you? And thank goodness my office is 3 minutes away. February 1st, we'll make the announcement of the summer concert series. I think we have it all nailed down now. So you'll be able to mark your calendar on February 1st, what's coming up for all summer. That's exciting. trying to think what else. So we started our new computer system that you've heard me talk about, our new software. If you haven't got a chance to go online, by the way, I can see every time you're online. I saw when Jan went online and created an account right after the last meeting. Thank you. I actually saw it. Go do that. It'll give you an idea how it works. It's really nice. I will tell you, our facility rentals are double what they were exactly this time last year because a lot of people went online to do it. And our memberships are actually double from where they were at this point last year for the same reasons, because it's just convenient for you to go online and do it. So if you haven't done that, I encourage you to do that. It gives you an idea it gives you an opportunity to go and poke around on the new site and check it out. So I love it. So that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Chief?
I don't have anything.
Chief?
Just that the station remodel is going on plan or ahead still. And we will be doing our process written test this Saturday. That's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you. Sherry? Nothing new?
No, nothing new.
Okay, thank you. Krista?
Just the only thing, we received the amount for the economic development fees. So Dana will be announcing a grant funding opportunity for those coming up, but it was right around $80,000, which is similar to what we got last year. So just be on the lookout for those, and looking forward to some good projects.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Jones?
Business as usual for us, sir. Guys have been doing a great job. Appreciate their efforts. Thanks to this board and the council over the years, we have made it through the first rounds of bad weather and no breakdowns to report, so that's much better than we had been historically. And we're just patiently waiting for tomorrow's round to come in. Sounds like 10 o'clock-ish, maybe tomorrow night, we'll be back at it, so we appreciate it. So we don't have to be out
Is that when the snow is supposed to come in the evening?
tomorrow night. Some flurries maybe in the morning, it sounds like tomorrow night through early morning, so
How much?
2 to 6.
Man, I'd like to be
All
able to
points
give,
in between, right?
I'd like to give ranges like that.
I know, right?
Hey.
Partly cloudy, yeah. All the things, right?
About
you
like
go
the
to jail.
engineering firms, it's gonna
Yeah,
cost
that's
2 to
right.
6 million.
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's right.
Rounding error.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you.
Mark?
Yes, the Community Crossings application went in for the first call of 2024 this morning. It's about $2.37 million. NDOT did increase the 50% match to 1.5 million this year. So we're below the maximum that we could receive, but we'll have a second call later on in the year that we can submit an application for. So I did get a response back from NDOT. I requested a courtesy review from them. They reviewed it, had a couple of suggested changes, and I made those, sent it back, and so it's been accepted. And I'm really happy to introduce our new Assistant City Engineer, Matt McElroy. Stand up, Matt. Matt he started yesterday. I've introduced him to just about everybody in the building, but not the department heads yet. And so take this as your formal introduction. You'll probably see Matt coming in to help you out with any projects that he might be involved in. He's already hit the ground running. He has an extensive background in road design and utility coordination. So one of the first projects I gave him was the EV charger project and completing the application to submit to Duke Energy for that EV charger setup. And he's got it done in probably, 20 minutes from when I handed it off to him. So he's...
You better slow down.
Yeah.
You're not in private practice anymore.
This is government, bud.
So Mark, I think it's all right to go ahead and talk about the involvement he's already had here with the city. I think it would be
yeah.
good for people to know.
Well, and Matt, you can fill in the blanks, but he's been heavily involved in all the roundabout projects that have been designed here in town. And the way Crossroad does their assignments is, they don't have specialists in the office that take a part of a project and then hand it off to the next person. Matt has been given the projects, and he takes them basically from start to finish. You know, I think maybe the only thing that you don't get heavily involved in is right-of-way acquisition. But you know, they do have appraisers and, that take care of those things. But he's done a lot of utility coordination and, you
Court
know.
Street?
Oh, he did he was actually the inspector for East and West Court Street back in, what, 2013? 2012?
Yeah, that's super fun.
So,
Memories.
he's got a lot of experience, and the hope is that some of these smaller projects that we've had to hand off to consultants for design work, that Matt's gonna be able to help do those internally, and so we can save some costs there. And that justifies his very high salary.
Just don't listen to Brett.
That.
I will say, I look forward to working with everybody up there, and I appreciate the opportunity, so thank you.
Thank you. Sally, are you got anything else, Mark?
No, that's all I have.
Sally?
First of all, I will say wastewater does freeze, but we're doing okay. Nothing major has frozen. It is a challenge in the really low temperatures. So our guys are spending a lot of time indoors, changing oil and doing a lot of indoor things right now, and everything's going well.
Okay, thank you, Sally. Liv? Okay, Tara?
I just want to remind everyone to get their tickets for the State of the City address on February 8th at the Marmot Café. The doors open at 11 and program starts at 11:30.
Looking forward to it. Thank you. Chan?
Look, I just want to thank all the department heads for taking the time to meet with me last week. It was beneficial, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome to Matt.
Ken?
Yeah, Matt, welcome aboard. I've seen your face multiple times, probably back in 2012.
Yeah, I've been around, quite a few times, so, also grew up in the area as well, so.
But familiar, that's for sure. Well, good luck. Welcome aboard.
Ms. Gray?
Chip, would you get REO to come to the concert before they all die?
I know you think I'm kidding, but I literally had this discussion this week that my time is ticking, so I gotta hurry.
All right. I got a sponsor to
Right.
pay for it, so. Their first concert, believe it or not, was in Franklin, Indiana.
It was at Franklin College,
Franklin
right?
College.
That's right.
Yeah,
What year?
yeah.
That's how we're gonna lure him back.
That's how we're gonna lure them back, and, yeah.
What year, Miss Gray?
What, I don't know, I wasn't born. Is this thing on? This thing on? Been a while.
I was probably there, but. But anyway,
Nothing, sir. No,
Nothing else?
Nothing
Okay.
seriously,
So
no.
I don't have anything else to say, so I think we're ready for, except I appreciate everybody. Keep up the good work, and we're the A-team. All of Franklin is the A-team, so thank you. Need a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.